So how the hell did we get here? Outcome Memory 0.2 has released, and this feels like a fuck. God. Outcome Memory 0.2 has released as of a week ago. Oh boy. This was certainly a trip of a release because we went from October to November and now we have December. But it feels so unreal that we actually have this thing now. I mean, it's been a week. And yeah, I'm already having goosebumps again from just playing as any of these new killers or survivors. But I think it's time that I finally talk about it in a more critic style detail level. So here you are. Here is my 0.2 review. I'm not going to go into too many specifics, but I'll just go in detail as we go along. Firstly, let's start with the shorter section for me, the survivors. Starting with Silver. Silver is a support survivor that is able to stall the EXE in order for the rest of the team to get away or make stunts with the killer. His three main abilities include Suspension, Rock, and Time Reversal. Suspension can either hold the EXE in place, or can be used to throw them away from any specific circumstance. But the EXE with enough mashing can break out of this and not do anything, forcing Silver to waste the move and have it go on a longer cooldown. Rock is another move that uses his bar and temporarily pulls out 3 rocks which can stay up as long as you have enough meter to do so. Having them out and throwing them can allow you to slow the EXE down and prevent them from using abilities or their M1. Again, this can be used to stall and get away without any risks of being attacked. Time Reversal is a traversal move that, when activated, makes you start glowing cyan, I think, or turquoise, and once you press it again, it will teleport you back to where you first pressed it. But this probably is easily countered by the EXE if they see where you first activated it and can wait. He also has a flight passive, which generates a short meter which can allow you to just fly anywhere as long as you have enough bar to be able to go on with it. But it is very short and situational. Overall, Silver is simple to use once you understand how his core mechanics work. But at the end of the day, you need to be a good user and know where to go when you need to fly away or help your team at the right time. Next up is Blaze, who is slowly and progressively becoming my main. She has 2 abilities which can upgrade into different forms, so technically she could have 4 abilities. She starts off with Soul Dash / Round Kick and Burning Javelin. Round Kick is the grounded version, and Soul Dash is the aerial version. Round Kick is a simple stun that lunges you forward, similar to Knuckles' punch. However, it cannot be charged and it comes out quite quickly. Hitting the EXE fills up your fire meter, which allows you to use the remaining moves. Soul Dash is basically the aerial version, although you can use this to get to higher ledges that you normally wouldn't be able to with a simple jump. Burning Javelin is a javelin that, when thrown at the EXE, can push them away from any survivor, which is very situational, but again is very useful for allowing other survivors to get away whenever they can. When her fire meter gains up, Round Kick doesn't change, but it does more stun time and adds a fire effect onto the EXE. But Soul Dash becomes Soul Boost, which allows you to essentially boost at a decent speed all around the air, and stunning the EXE grants even more fire meter so you can do it again in this instance. When you use Burning Javelin in the state, it becomes Soul Flame, which is a massive wall of fire that you can spew out, which again pushes the EXE back but a further rate and gives them a lot of fire, which slows them down a lot. However, Burning Javelin and Soul Flame do not stun the EXE. Blaze is one of those survivors that you genuinely want out in the field fighting the EXE so the others can do their job, such as Metal Healing or Cream being able to support her team. Now we are moving on to the best part of the update in my opinion, the EXEs, starting with Tripwire, who I find to be the least enjoyable. Tripwire is genuinely a lot more powerful than any of the other EXEs in the game right now, and it all comes down to one ability, being her mines. Her mines essentially allow you to just plant explosives on the ground, which not only do damage but keep the survivor in place, so you can get an extra attack in if you're at the location. At most you can have 10 mines on the match at once, but whenever you have one activated by a survivor, it goes back in your inventory to be used again. Her second ability is the laser. It basically just fires out a laser that on contact does 10 damage, and keeping it on the survivor does even more over time. Her final ability, who is the only in-game EXE with 3 abilities right now, is the Reach Out, which was shown in the Outcome Memories Discord before Tripwire release, being the only thing we knew of before it came out. This ability essentially forces the survivor into your radius and deals 5 damage over time, but 1 damage every 10th of a second if they are super close to you. This again can just prevent survivors from going away and just dealing damage in the meantime, but you can have more than one survivor in this radius at once. She also has a double jump and a glide for her passive, being quite useful for gaining speed onto the survivor. Tripwire is basically an EXE who doesn't play like 2011X or Colossus. She is mainly one you just want to be strategic with where you place the bombs and how you utilize your other abilities. Now we have Colossus. Colossus is the biggest hit of excitement I had for this update. He at first was genuinely the only thing I cared about from this, and he remains as the best thing to play as in this game in my opinion. I love his playstyle so much, so let's get into it. First ability is Charge, which is the biggest rush you get when you use it. It essentially is like TD's Charge, but you can turn with it and it lasts much longer. When you impale someone, they come into your arm. I could have phrased that a lot better. And be dragged with you until you let go or hit them into a wall, doing increased damage. You can technically bring survivors away from their team, preventing them from helping them, just allowing you to escape in general with a free down or kill. His second ability is Grab. When you lunge forward, being able to grab a survivor in their radius. If you manage to grab one, you can do 3 pummels before eventually letting them go and them escaping. This is a pretty self-explanatory ability. His third ability is an Indicator. What the fuck do you think it does? And his final ability is Block. What the fuck do you think that does? But in all seriousness, there's 2 versions of this. The first is the baseline block, which does no damage and simply just prevents a stun. The second one is a range block, which I know can be caused by Amy's hammer throw and Tails' arm cannon so far, but there might be more. The range block has Colossus throw a giant rock towards the survivor, dealing a lot of damage in the process. Colossus is even more of a rushdown killer than 2011X's, but he's way more streamlined and is just focused on pure killing rather than trickery. Now I just want to get onto the maps, specifically the 3 new ones: Angel Island, Mystic Cave, and the Green Hill redesign. I'll start with the weakest, Mystic Cave. This is undoubtedly one of the weaker maps in the game, and as shown by this gameplay, it's extremely survivor-sided. There are so many spots where characters like Blaze with a soul dash, Silver with his passive, Tails with his glide, can just escape the EXE, and if it's not 2011X, they're gonna have a hard time catching up with you, which is gonna make it easy to escape, yes, given the difficulty of these new EXEs, but it feels too easy. It's not exactly balanced for every survivor being encountered, and I get that these were probably designed with Fleetway in mind, because he was going to come and got delayed. So I can see the vision, but for now it just doesn't work exactly with most EXEs in the game, and combined with X's buffs on top of him being an annoying killer to face in 0.1, most people will just resort to using him as he's the best on this map, which may just make it not fun for the survivors due to how annoying X can be to deal with, and that most people using him are highly experienced, and judging by his playstyle, that's not going to be very fun. Next up is the Green Hill revamp, which may just be the second, if not the largest map in this game right now, and holy lord is it a big one. They specifically just took every little part of the old Green Hill, erased it, and completely resized it, and made a new layout from scratch. Which I do like the layout, but given its size, it doesn't feel very, not exactly fun, because it's not a bad design. It just feels like it's way too loopy for the survivors. There are spots where they can get stuck due to the invisible walls. The EXEs can't really do anything if it's not Colossus, because Colossus has some of the best traversal, if you don't count his slow speed. And both sides really can struggle on this map, considering that, yeah, just its size in general. Finally, for the new maps, we have Angel Island, which I consider to be a pretty good map, as it's got that X's castle feel where it's not too small but not too big at the same time. It does feel fun to play on with most survivors, and the EXE has a lot of traversal room as well. Yes, it may have some disadvantages here and there, and some people don't really like it, but that's just their personal preference. I really like this map for what it is. It's the best 0.2 map in the game right now. Judging by the intro, I also want to go through the various amount of nerfs that characters have been through for the past week. Starting with Colossus, who has undoubtedly had the worst of it. I think some people have been whining about him a little too much just because they are facing him the same way they've been facing 2011X for the past few months, and it's really fucked with their brains that they actually have a strong killer, so they're complaining and they're forcing the devs to tone it down. Basically, the summary is that he used to have a nerf where he would widen turns on charge, but this got reverted due to console players. Charge Impale doesn't do as much damage anymore. He has end lag after charge, which is a good nerf. It makes him feel balanced now. Again, after grab, he has a bit of end lag as well. That's pretty much what Colossus got. He had like nerfs to almost everything, so he got the worst of it pretty much. Next up is Tripwire, who again got nerfs to pretty much everything, but they are quite minor in terms of scale. But the one thing she didn't get a nerf of is the amount of mines that can be on the map at one time, which is like the one thing they should have nerfed, which was her problem. I don't know why it didn't get nerfed. Lower it to like 7, and then it's good. You're eliminating 3 threats. That's good enough for the survivors. Blaze got essentially no nerfs because I think everyone unanimously agreed that she is the most balanced out of this update, especially at launch. But Silver got a nerf to where his flight meter isn't as big anymore, and its charge was once like 2 minutes apparently, but that was a bug that got reverted, and that's pretty much it. Another thing I want to mention, the intro was entirely like a joke. I even put it there as well, but I'm not poking fun at the devs. Obviously, they had a lot of expectations, and some people had their expectations too high, but I extremely love this update. it like shifted the entire game around, and just having more than one EXE makes it feel really good. So at long last, the rating. I am rating Outcome Memories 0.2 an 8.5 out of 10, which is a high mark considering the games that I play on Roblox, which most are high quality. The game itself is in a really good state after all the patches that had to have been made. Almost everyone feels balanced, or balanced enough to the point where it is enjoyable to both be in EXE and fight in EXE. But yeah, the devs did a really good job with this. I cannot wait for Fleetway whenever he comes. I don't expect that to be anywhere close to the beginning of next year. I want these devs to enjoy the break they deserve. 0.2 was 100% worth it. So I wish the best for the Outcome team, and I can't wait to see how Fleetway goes in 0.3 whenever that comes. The final message I want to tack on is that I've gotten through everyone's gameplay, which I wanted to do before reviewing, just so I can get a feel for how everyone plays. I will still make Outcome content, but judging as I'm not on an upload schedule, it's going to be less often to get ideas and to just find content in general. I'm thinking of a second clip compilation for 0.2 being the next video, if that's possible. We'll see how it goes. So thank you guys for watching my Outcome Memories 0.2 review. Absolutely amazing. Just some flaws here and there that could be ironed out, but apart from that, a really amazing update to a really amazing game. See you guys in the next video. Bye bye.